Hey, I just wanted to make a quick video here so you guys can see what's going on over in Emerald Point, and you can see that we're in an escalating market and the values are going up. And I also want to share with you the real AVM and how that relates to closed properties and numbers. So we're going to search for the properties that have closed in the last 180 days over in Emerald Point, and this is what we're getting here. We'll start right in. This is the first property at 9808. This is unit 12. They listed this property at $200,000 and it sold for $180,000. So when we look at the real AVM, this is a number that the buyer agents, the lenders, the mortgage lenders, and myself, listing agents, all look at, because these numbers are very, very close to what's going to happen. The real AVM here is 192,830. Remember, this one closed for about $12,000 less, and the real AVM range was 171 all the way up to 214. In Mecklenburg County, we haven't seen too many properties close above the high of the real AVM. It does happen, but it's rare. Certainly, we see them very rarely close at the low of the real AVM. Most of the time, they're closing right around this number. This one closed right in between the low and the average of the real AVM. All right, so let's look over here. This was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It was built in 1988. And this property, it closed, it took 33 days to, get the offer and everything. All right, let's go to the next one here. This is 7340 Lakefront Drive, also in Emerald Point. This one here, it listed at 245.5 and it closed right at 245.5. And let's look at this real AVM. The real AVM for this one is 232. So it closed above the real AVM, but certainly not above the high of the real AVM, and much higher than the low of the real AVM. All right. And this one was built in 1987. I believe it has a dock, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-story, about 1,000 square foot. So, even a little tighter than what you guys are working with. All right. So over here, and this one, it closed in 0 days. So it was on the market and they got an offer in the first day it was on the market. There was no seller contribution. This was a cash transaction. We have a lot of investors coming into the area purchasing these properties. All right, let's go to the next one. This was 9809 Unit 5. Okay, they listed it at 232.9. They closed it at 225. And again, we're going to look at the real AVM. And I just want you to start to see the correlation to this number, which is public information, it's public data, and to what's going on with the sales. So the real AVM here was 233. It closed below the real AVM, but certainly, again, above the low of the real AVM, and it did not reach the high of the real AVM. This was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 1985, and, this one was this one was, it does have some upgrades in there. Again, this one closed, it took 77 days. And they do have the boat slip there. So, and this one was, again, a slightly smaller, 1,163 square feet. The next one we're looking at is 9809 Unit 10. And they listed at a 244.5 and it closed above the list price, which means there must have been multiple offers and people looking at this, because again, the buyers are very savvy here. They're going to have savvy agents, and that agent is going to look at this real AVM and let them know that they can pay more than what that value is worth. The real AVM here was 250. That's why they were able to get the higher, close price. The low was 227, so it closed well above the low. And again, it didn't touch the high, but we were right in that range of that real AVM. And that's why I try to tell my sellers, this is a very important number for you guys to look at. This property closed in 8 days. Okay. 0 seller contributions, any of that. Let's look at the next one here. This is Lakefront Drive number 5. They listed it at 239, and again, they closed above the list price, 242. This is a busy area, and people want to move into this area. When properties come on the market, we're going to get a lot of activity within the first couple days, and I'm very confident. In some parts of Mecklenburg, we're getting offers within that first 24 hours. The real AVM here is 249, and the low is 226, the high is 271. So again, we closed right in there. We're looking at a 1,300 square foot unit, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 1 floor. This isn't a 2 floor. It does have the boat slip. It closed, took 2 days, which is what we're seeing in Mecklenburg County. There was no seller contribution. This person walked away with a great number. 9816 Emerald Point Unit 11. They listed it at $229,900. They closed it below the list price at $225,000. We'll check out the real AVM on this one. When you look at it, it's $230.55. The low was $209,000, which they closed well above, and they didn't touch the high. But they did close very close to that $230,000, within about $5,000 of that number. They were on the market for 0 days. 0 days. 0 seller contribution, too. All right, over here, the last one we're looking at, Lakefront Drive number 1. They listed at $295,000. They closed it at $295,000. This one is a duplex. They do have the basement there, so I think that's, commanding the higher value, obviously. It's built in 1986, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. This was only partially updated, not, it wasn't very updated. This closed in 0 days. Took 0 days to get the offer on this one. Again, the area that we're in is very, very sought after, and we will get activity within that first couple days. The real AVM on this one, $296,000. So it's no wonder why this one sold for so much in the same community, because the numbers are telling us that. Here's $261,000, $332,000. So we didn't get all the way up there, but we certainly sold above the low of that real AVM. Now, let's look at what your number is here. Because, I've been showing you what the real AVM is on all of these other properties. Now we're going to see what your real AVM is. So let's do that. We're going to look at 9808. 9809, sorry. Emerald Point. Let's search that. Here we go. Here's your unit. Let's search that. Right over there. This is right off of the public website, which all of the other buyers, the lenders, when they're doing the, all of the appraisals, they're going to look at this number. So here's our property. Our real AVM here is $244,000. We're going to sell very close to this number, $244,000. The low is $222,000. Nobody was selling at the low of the real AVM. The high is $266,000. We weren't getting above the high, but I'm very confident that we can get very close to this number, if not there or above, because some of them were about 5,000, some of them were maybe 10,000 below, some of them were about 5,000 over, or some of them were right there. My point is, this neighborhood has been escalating and the values have gone up, and we can see that by looking at the public data here. Again, even though the property hasn't been updated, it's been well maintained, it's in good condition, these buyers are going to look at this property and we're going to get a cash offer very, very quickly if we go to market. And my goal here is just so that way you guys don't lose any money on what you're trying to do. And, I think selling it for $225,000, we can certainly get it done very fast, but, you're going to be leaving money on the table because you'll be selling it just $3,000 over what the low is, and not one property has sold at the low of the real AVM. So you will be losing money. You could certainly sell it very quickly at $230,000, $235,000, $240,000. I think all of those numbers are very reasonable, and we're going to be able to get this done. I mean, you're seeing some of these close dates are 0. We're getting offers in 0 days. So, again, I'm ready to help you any way I can. I just don't want you to, walk away and leave, possibly $9,000 on the table. All right. Thanks so much. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to email you all of these listings so you can take a look at them if you have any questions. Thanks so much.